Well, welcome. You're watching the evening news. Before we move on, just a quick reminder of the big breaking news we're tracking at this hour. 3 Pakistan players have been barred from practice. All that, of course, comes in the midst of yet another fixing scandal. This one said to be a spot of fixing. Of course, involved the Pakistan players, even as it was playing the second test against England in Lords, we're told. But the Salman, Asif and Amir are the players who have been barred from practice. Remember, so far we've seen that the Pakistan Cricket Board has been saying that there is no way that those players will have to go. They've been saying that there will be a proper investigation. Only after that some action will be taken. We've seen that the ICC has said that keep these players out. And now this is the big breaking news we're getting, that the 3 Pakistan players have been barred from practice. There's been growing resentment against their continuing in the team. The team, of course, are heading for the one-dayers now. It's played 2 tests, one at the Oval and one at Lords. This entire controversy really erupted during the second test at Lords, when it was found that a fixer, that's Majid, was actually involved in getting these players to fix games. This was of course, spot fixing and not match fixing. There were images that really created shock and controversy around the world. Images of Majid sitting with stashes and stashes of cash, and also of him accepting money from journalists. And remember, this was all part of a sting operation conducted by a tabloid, News of the World, or NOTW. They offered Majid, the middleman, the money. Majid, someone with great access with the players, actually goes up to them and shows them the money. Images really that have created shock and controversy around the world. The ICC, in fact, even spoke to the Pakistan Cricket Board and said that these players should be kept out of the team. Pakistan, of course, has been standing its ground, saying that no, there's no question of that until and unless an inquiry is conducted. But these 3 players have now been barred from practice. It seems there was little choice. That coming on a day when there was a lot of money found from Captain Salman Baq's room, on being questioned on where it came from. And remember, this was an amount that was far exceeding the DA that's given to the players. Salman Baq said that it was all to be spent on his sister's trousseau. But clearly there's more to this than meets the eye, as was suspected. Yesterday, of course, when the Pakistan team left their hotel, the entire world was watching. We've seen Mohammad Asif, Salman Baq and Amir are those players who will now will be questioned, we're told, in London for the second time. Akash Das Gupta now joining us for more on this. Akash, we've seen that Pakistan Cricket Board has been somewhat defined, but clearly there was little option but to do this, to take this kind of action against these 3 players.
Absolutely right, Natasha, because remember, this is something which is being investigated on multiple fronts. This is something which has the ICC involved in it. This is something which has the PCB involved in it, as well as the Scotland Yard. Remember, Scotland Yard detectives had visited the rooms of exactly these 3 players who have now been stopped from practicing, Mohammad Asif, Mohammad Amir and skipper Salman Baq, and had recovered a lot of baggage from their rooms, which also included, according to certain reports, a lot of cash from Salman Baq's room, amounting to up to 50,000 pounds, or about 37 lakh rupees. Now the latest news that we have is that, first of all, these 3 players who were with the team, the rest of the team, in Taunton ahead of their friendly match versus Somerset on Thursday, they were practicing over there, but they were barred from practicing. They were stopped from practicing, and that is primarily because Scotland Yard detectives now want to interrogate these 3 players, the 3 really who are in the eye of the storm, as it was, the 3 main accused after News of the World carried out that sting operation with fixer Mazhar Majid. Now, these 3 have been summoned to London by Scotland Yard for further interrogation. Remember Yavar Saeed, the manager of the Pakistani team, when he held a press conference right after this news broke, along with skipper Salman Baq, he had admitted that Scotland Yard detectives had spoken to some of the players at that time, but that was really just a preliminary inquiry of sorts. This is more official because now the entire investigation process is falling into place. The PCB, of course, has maintained that no action will be taken against any of the tainted players or against any of the players accused of spot fixing / match fixing till the police investigation is complete. Now, that is exactly what's happening right now. The police investigation is in its preliminary stages. Scotland Yard is conducting its independent inquiry, and these 3 players have now been summoned to London for that.
Right, Akash, let me just recap for our viewers. Stay with us, Akash. Let me just recap for our viewers. 3 Pakistan players have been banned from practice. That comes even as Pakistan Cricket Board has dug its heels in earlier in the day, saying there's no question of taking action against these players till investigations are complete. We saw the ICC start a safari yesterday saying that these are early days, but the ICC is taking all these reports very, very closely. There have been shocking images of money, players really surrounded by lots of money, lots of cash. In fact, £50,000 found just this morning from Captain Salman But's room. Akash Dasgupta still with us. Akash, what happens next? Of course, we are being told that the players, some of them have been questioned earlier, and that, of course, more rounds of questioning that Scotland Yard clearly has to do.
Well, absolutely, Natasha. This is not something which is going to be over and done with in a couple of days. This is something which will continue for a long time. This is, of course, an investigation which could really affect the lives and the careers of a number of people, a number of players, some of them as young as 19. Mohammad Amir is just 19 and he has already been touted as the greatest talent in terms of fast bowling that Pakistan has produced ever since the days of Wasim and Waqar. So, you know, this is something, it's a very delicate issue. Of course, these three players have been accused and they have been featured and they have been named by Mazhar Majid, the fixer, according to the sting operation conducted by British tabloid News of the World. But right now, the entire matter has to be handled very delicately because the careers of a number of players are at stake over here. Scotland Yard knows that and they will be investigating accordingly. But as I mentioned earlier, it is going to be a multi-pronged investigation. Scotland Yard, PCB, ICC, everyone is going to look into it themselves. We know that the Pakistan Interior Minister, Mr. Malik himself, has said that he's going to be part of the investigation, even though he has also suggested that this entire thing smacks of a conspiracy and maybe the Pakistani players, there was someone who wanted to just frame them, and that's what happened over here. But he's also said that in case anyone is found guilty after all the investigations have been completed, then he would be made an example of in front of everyone, so that future generation, no one tries to emulate what these guys have tried to do. But again, at the end of the day, this is going to be a very, very lengthy process. This is not something which we'll hear the end of in a couple of days' time. The investigation has just started. The preliminary process has just begun. The first round of hearings, of course, happened in London while the Lord's Test was going on when the news of the sting operation broke. At that time, preliminary hearings were conducted, but that wasn't at Scotland Yard. The detectives had travelled to the player hotel rooms and had questioned the players there, had questioned the manager, Yavar Saeed, there in the hotel itself. Now a more formal process is beginning because now all the three players who have been accused of spot fixing and match fixing have now been called in to Scotland Yard, to London, to the Scotland Yard headquarters to be questioned.